on. Firstly, just in terms of positioning mobile phones, I mean, we really have got a unique opportunity as a development community that's never been there before. There are over 5 million mobile phone subscriptions in the world, and that's still growing. And even more than mobile phone subscriptions, people are accessing mobile phones by sharing a member of the family's mobile phone, or by schemes like the Grameen Village Phone Scheme, where phone ladies will have phones which they'll rent out to members of the community for a short period of time for a very small fee as well. So a lot more people actually have access to mobile phones and maybe even have mobile phone subscriptions. It's very interesting that sub-Sahara Africa is currently the fastest growing region for mobile phone usage as well. And I think that's a really positive thing because if you look at the figures there for GDP, where more people in the community have mobile phones, they engage in the community because they're more connected, their economic activity increases, therefore there's a corresponding increase in GDP. So it's a really positive effect. And the last statement there, more people now have access to mobile phones than they do to running water or proper sanitation facilities, is at one level quite disturbing, I find actually, a statement. But another, it just emphasises that unique opportunity that we've got now to use mobiles to reach people and support people and engage with people in a way that we never have before as a development community. So this just gives you a bit of a sense of the sphere and the scale of mobiles for development. There's lots of different areas on there. So I'm going to sort of home in on mobile money, on openness and transparency, and also on the left-hand side here, information and empowerment, because those are three very important areas. But there are other areas as well, and health is growing very rapidly at the moment. And I think remote counselling and mentoring, which is part of empowerment really, is really, really important as well. Crisis mapping, I'll show you a little bit about crisis mapping and how some technologies are being used for disasters like the tsunami in Japan to map where resources are really needed in real time. And within that, there are a number of different players. So there are some solutions like USHID and Frontline SMS which have been donor funded and continue to be donor funded. There are others which maybe got donor funding to start off, but are now looking at commercial models to try and become sustainable businesses in their own right. And Apaiser is one of those, which we'll look at in a bit more detail later on. And then there are organisations which set out from day one to be commercial organisations, but to affect things in least developed countries. So one great example is Grameen Phone, which is a profit-making mobile operator in Bangladesh, but clearly set out its mandate from day one to support people and target people at the base of the pyramid. And lastly, there are global players as well. So Facebook have an application called zero.facebook.com, which allows you free access to Facebook to see your friend's status and to be connected to your friends. And mobile operators don't charge any data charge through that application to access data. So in India or with MTN, mobile networks in Africa, you can access Facebook with that application free of charge, which is very positive. Google have their own sub-Saharan research centre where they're supporting a number of different products and funding research into making access to the internet via mobiles more accessible to the general public. And Ovi is a Nokia product, so Nokia Live Tools, which I'm just going to show a short video of now, is how Nokia are trying to address supporting people in less developed countries.